Hello and welcome to the Screen One interview. Now today I am joined by Sam Bailey and Moya Angela, two of the stars of the Newsies musical, which is currently at the Troubadour Theatre in Wembley Park. So welcome to the interview, and how are you both?
We're good.
Yeah, very good, thank you.
I love how you said two of the stars because I feel like everybody's a star in this show, to be fair.
Yes, yeah.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
It is a large cast of stars.
A lot of talent.
It's an amazing show. I saw it a few weeks back, and I don't know whether you've read my review, my 5-star review, I might add.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredible show. It's incredibly energetic.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to tell us about your characters? So if you want to tell us about who your characters are and what they are in the show.
So I play a character called Specs. He's one of the newsboys, one of the older newsboys, because there's different little cliques within the newsboys. I think we have like our different, so there's like the ballet boys, and then there's the ones that do all the tricks, and then there's the kind of more actor singy ones, and that's one of me. And yeah, I feel like we're like Jack's. There's about 4 or 5 of us that are kind of Jack's little wingmen. And we kind of help him with things and throughout the show and with the strike that goes on in the show. So yeah.
Yeah. And I play Meta Larkin. I am a theater owner, and Jack has a relationship with me in like a mother-son-ish kind of relationship because he doesn't really have any adults in his life in that way. And he kind of runs to my theater refuge when he is running away from one of our characters in the show who, is always trying to collect the boys and throw them in this horrible place.
Yeah.
So he always likes to come to my theater as somewhat of a comfort. And sometimes I guide him, give him a little bit of advice, and just, am there for him in times when he needs it. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. So the show itself, it's at the Troubadour Theatre, which is not in the West End, as people will realise. It's actually at Wembley, so it's not in the West End run. But the theatre itself is incredible, especially the setup for Newsies. It's a bit of a playground, really, isn't it? 'Cause it's got bits you can climb on. There's slides. How is it working in that? I mean, do you feel the need to go on the slide each day?
I haven't been on the slide, but I would love to.
I definitely have never been on the slide.
It's really fast though, from when I've seen
the
other boys that do the slide. It's fast.
I do remember when we first came to the theater, from just like, it's so magical when like you come from like this room where you have to like make up what it would be because you haven't seen your set yet.
That's so true.
That day that we all showed up, they made it like it was like a amusement park. Like they made us come in groups because they knew we were going to be so extremely fascinated by the stage, and they were not lying. Like as soon as we got in there, we were just like, what? It was massive. We realized the vastness of like how things were going to be, and it was like an adult playground for well, we actually play kids, but but still, it was absolutely phenomenal. And they had to take us through every little crevice of it for safety reasons because it's a lot. It is. But it's a really amazing set, honestly.
Because it's not traditional staging, because you're coming out of different parts of the theatre all the way through. All the various characters are. I mean, they're coming in through where people come in and sit down. There's bits behind the seats, and you just don't know where you're going to pop up next. It's
no, exactly.
It's very immersive. I think that's the fun part about it, is that we know the audience doesn't quite know what's going to come next. Yeah.
I think that was something I was going to ask about, because there's a real move to this immersive theatre now, isn't there? Because you've got Newsies, which is like that, and Guys and Dolls, which has recently opened. It's the same, and it's got all that kind of thing. So do you think that's the next logical step for theatre? Because, rather than just sitting in front of a stage and watching something, the immersive thing is the next thing to bring the next generation of audiences in.
To be fair, there's a theater in New York City. It's and it's an immersive theater. I've actually done a show there. It's right next door to where the Wicked Theater is. And I think to answer your question, I think it's the new thing that's coming to London, because I think that with the other theaters, they don't give you the freedom to bring such an immersive show like this to the city. And the theater that Guys and Dolls in, it's a brand new theater that allows for that kind of thing. And we had to come all the way to Wembley and like build in this box to make it that kind of thing. I think that this is the kind of theater that like London deserves, is like to be able to bring these different types of shows.
I think it definitely depends on the theater, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think it's Moulin Rouge is that's quite interactive, isn't it?
A little bit.
I haven't seen it, but I think they do. And then I think the Cabaret are doing like that, but then I've not seen that, and that theatre's probably made to like, it's how the theatre's made, I guess.
Yeah.
What it can give.
So Newsies itself, you've got quite I've got to be careful how I say this, quite a spread of ages in the cast. Okay?
Yes.
Some very young. Obviously, you guys are some of the youngest on the cast, and then you've got older cast members as well. So,
that's so sweet of you.
I love that. I love that because I'm actually the oldest newsie.
Oh, are you?
I'm 30, and like the others are all like 19.
Yeah, I'm not telling you how old I am.
Yeah, but
21.
Exactly.
My age.
But no, you're right. There's like kids too.
It's mad.
So how does that dynamic work? Because that's, obviously it's very different age.
I'm being honest. We're all a bunch of kids. No,
we are. We're idiots.
We love to hang around with each other and play with each other and be really silly. And sometimes you literally forget that there's so many age differences. To be fair, we're all really a silly, fun, happy cast. So you totally forget.
So give me a day in the life of the Newsies cast. So from the moment you get to the theatre, and a normal show day, if there's such a thing.
Okay, that's the thing. We don't have normal show days.
It's never normal here at Newsies. Because we have to come in, obviously do a warm-up, and it is an earlier start from what I'm used to. So we come in for like 5:30 if we have a one show, and then we do the warm-up.
It's a physical warm-up and a vocal warm-up.
Then we go through the notes of what the show is going to be. At that, if there's people off, which a lot of the time there's a lot of people off.
There generally are people off.
And that can take a lot of time. And then we have obviously there's a massive fight scene in the show, so we have to do a fight call for safety, because there's also like the little kid is in that fight scene as well. And then there's different obviously things with people flying. So we have to go through all of that, and then go through things if people are if like swings are debuting on tracks, we have to go through that. And then it's head back to the dressing room and prepare for Newsies. For a crazy 2 hours.
And people are coming from all parts of London or outside of the city. So it's always a big deal once we finally know that everybody made it to the show.
Exactly that.
Now, you kind of touched on it there. It's an incredibly intense show, especially physically. Because there's people somersaulting, as you said, flying around, popping up here, there, and everywhere. So, is it a show where there's a lot of physical damage, injuries, and stuff? And how do you combat that? Do you all have to, follow a training regime? Probably more so the acrobatic types on the cast, but how does that all work?
I think we have to. I think we know that we have to look after ourselves, but it's tough on the body and stuff. But we have a physio on site. Well, I say on site. I think when they come in the day sometimes, and you have to like book a slot. But most of the time, I think it's kind of knowing your body and what you can and can't do, and where you're hurting and stuff like that. But I think we just all have our own different kind of regimes to keep. Some of the younger ones are a bit like haven't learned, and they've gone full throttle with it and kind of hurt themselves, which is fair. Like you don't realize when we did the rehearsals, like doing that eight times a week, what it's going to do to you until you start it, really.
So what are your favorite parts of the show? Because there's a lot of favorite parts, and don't say I like the whole thing. That's not the answer. What is there? Do you like certain sections show you're in, or that somebody else does?
My favorite parts I'm not even in. I think my favorite scene in the whole show is the world will know, because I just feel like I feel like it's the one scene where, number one, the choreo is not as intense as the acting is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I also feel like it's also like the turning point of the show, when like everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna stick together and we're gonna stand together. And I love how the music is written, and I love how the staging is. And I think it's like the moment that like brings everybody into like the storyline. And it's my favorite scene to watch, that one.
I think my favorite is King of New York. I just love that number. I love the scene into it as well. I think it's a really fun number, and I feel like you get to see a little bit of the different Newsies with that one, because that's the one number that like Jack's not in, and it's kind of very much the ensemble on that one. But it's good. It's such a fun number, so I love that one.
That's excellent. So, so the show's central message, which I suppose would be seize the day. What is your seize the day moment generally?
In life, you mean?
Yeah. What would you call your seize the day moment?
It's really tough. I don't know.
You said no tough question.
I know I did. I lied. Sorry.
Seize the day moment.
It?
I don't know. I mean, it could come in so many different forms.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, maybe my seize the day moment was moving to the UK. When I just was tired of where my career was going. You know, the world was shut down. Things were really crazy, very unknown. And I literally stomped my foot down. I was like, I'm moving and I'm gone. And I did it, and I'm here. And I think, you know, for me personally, as you know, a performer, it was just a really good move for me. And I have loved it ever since. So I would just say that's my seize the day.
I think just in general with our career, I think we have to seize the moment and seize the day all the time. Like, I think we have to take chances, and we have to do what's right for us. And I think just as well with the show, in the way the world is right now, like there's a lot of strikes happening in the UK. So I think it's just that thing of fighting for what you believe in, and just going for it and seizing the day.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. So the show's just been extended recently till July. Are you guys staying on for the whole run still, or?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
we are definitely one of the stayers, I would say. You know, the show is extended twice, which speaks volumes for how people are really loving it and enjoying it. So yeah, I'm still riding this wave.
Yeah, I think like a lot.
Look on social media, and it's packed every night, which is not something every show can say currently. So what do you think it is? What do you think it is about Newsies that either brings people back or just brings people? What do you think?
It's a serious fan base for this show. It's like people have been waiting their entire lives for it to come to London.
Yeah,
like
I didn't realize
there's people who've come 40 times. I mean, and then what is so unique about it too is like when you're on stage and you're looking out in the audience, you see people who are dressed as Newsies left and right, and they are like really in love with this show. So the interesting thing is that it's full, but then you have some of the same people who are just coming back because they just love it and love it and love it, and they'll send you pictures of yourself on stage, and you know, there's such a support with coming all the way to Wembley to watch little old Newsies. So it's a good feeling, honestly. I don't know what it is, but I think that we are bringing something a little different. And I do think that, you know, it is severely visually pleasing, from the lighting to the scenes, the songs, the dancing.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a dance-based show, like musical show, for a long time as well in London. I think that's attracted people. But and I think people sometimes want to come back because there's so much in the show and so many different bits that sometimes you don't know where you're looking. So I feel like if you come again, you'll see something you didn't see before.
And the way it's set up, it's like you get a different view if you're in Brooklyn or if you're in Manhattan. It's interesting that way. So people are like, I want to come back and see.
And people have said, like, I have family and friends who've come and sat in different places, say it's such a different show when you sit in a different place. Like, it's mad.
We're forming a union. Newsies on a mission, kill the competition. Sell the next edition. Carrying the banner, see us out there. Carrying
awesome.
Just to wrap up, have you got any kind of shout outs or anything you want to say to people about Newsies and why they should come?
If you don't come see the show, then I hate to call you silly, but I just feel like it's such a different experience of a show. That's why I said at the very beginning that everybody in this show is a star. And so everybody gets a moment to like really shine on that stage. And so I think that it is such a high energy show and that everybody can find a piece of this show that they can relate to. So bring your butts in seats.
Very much that. Yeah, just come along, because I feel like you'd be silly to miss it, because it is just it's a phenomena. Is that the right word?
Phenomenal.
And it'd be crazy to miss it.
Well, that's perfect. Thank you very much, Sam and Moya, for coming along and being on the interview. So that's it for now, and we will see you on the next Screen One interview soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.